useless. Like, but you thinking that, where did that come from?
The useless thought.
No, no, no.
You
The you being aware, where
so
did that come from?
let, let let me just touch on that just slightly, and then we won't go down that rabbit hole.
Well,
Um, my philosophy, my observation is that there's whatever the human mind is, wherever it is, whatever the human mind is, there's two fools in there.
Yeah, yeah.
There's two fools in
uh-huh.
there. There's there's what I'll label the ego, not to connect it with anyone else's concept of the ego, but I'll just call it the ego, which is that dude that's over,
Yeah.
and the observer. The
Mm-hmm.
observer is that dude. The observer is that dude that catches
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
the ego jumping back into the ring.
Yeah,
Like, yo, man, we gotta toss this fool out the ring
but
again.
the observer's thoughts, where did they come from? Is what I'm saying.
I guess self-aware consciousness, because the unaware consciousness is the ego,
Yeah, yeah, but
right? The fool that keeps coming
but
in.
what is self-aware consciousness? I mean, like that would be, let's say, active thinking or awareness in a way.
Well, like for me, I caught it from like, well, after seeing the law of attraction, like you're saying, once I start getting that fear, like it says, that whatever you're thinking, you can manifest, and during life, and where like when you were thinking about dumb stuff or things you don't want to think about, and then it manifests for no matter reason, then I start getting scared, and I'm like, you know what? I better watch my thinking, because whatever I'm thinking about it, it's starting to manifest. So from there on, is when I catch myself like, nope, don't, nope,
Yeah,
No,
but
nope.
see
I
where,
think
but
Octavio's,
see
yeah,
where did
Octavio's
that
alluding
nope,
to.
nope, don't, where did that arise from?
Well,
I
just
think
me. It's me like talking, like you
no,
said.
no, no, no.
There's two people. I'm basically saying to the other
But
fool, no.
Octavio is alluding to what is it that gives basically self-aware consciousness is what I think that you're alluding to. No,
Because for
like
me, you're making a distinction between these fucking useless thoughts that just spring up,
mm-hmm,
which you have no control over. They just spring up and they
mm-hmm,
just spring into view.
the ego,
These
yeah,
thoughts bubble up into view,
into the
right?
theater of the mind, let's
Into
say.
the theater of the
Yeah,
mind.
yeah.
But I mean, does the other dude, does that not happen also there?
Yes. The
So
the 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 observer
the observer,
is the dude that you can that
do the observations not also just bubble up though? Is what I'm saying. The observations, as far as I'm
the
concerned,
the observations are the ego.
yeah, I know. Let's
Uh-huh.
say whatever it is, either of the two guys, but let's say the observer,
Mm-hmm.
uh, the control mind, if you
Okay,
will,
okay.
those observations also just bubble up.
Through will,
Well, does will not just bubble up?
no. Will is a control,
How?
right? Will is will is the will is the mechanism
Uh-huh.
that self-aware consciousness utilizes.
And do you control it?
Yes,
How?
yeah. Will
Uh-huh.
will is will is what you control.
How do you control will?
Um, I I don't think that that's answerable.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't think that that's answerable.
For me,
How
it's not
you
answerable.
control
Uh-huh.
will,
For me, it seems that it's
it's controllable. You
how though.
agree? Do
Uh-huh.
you agree that it's controllable?
Mm,
Yeah, because
there.
you can will anything.
Hmm. There. I mean, there's layers to this. I'm just
I could
saying
even direct your will.
on. Yeah, no, and I would agree on that layer. I'm talking about a layer above that. Um, ultimately, you, for instance, thinking.
Hmm.
Do you create thinking, or does it just also arise, just like thoughts? Can you
The
pre-think thinking? Can you pre-think thinking? And
I don't think
uh-huh.
I don't think that you're using that concept of thinking. I don't think it's appropriate.
Well,
Like contextually appropriate
mm,
to say pre-think thinking.
uh-huh.
Uh, Thinking
Okay.
is just a
When you,
process,
well, yeah, I know it's a
right?
process, but when you think,
Hmm.
before you think it, where does it come from? It seems to just arise, and if it just arises, for me, there's no control there.
Haven't you read something
Well,
about
what?
like before you be able to move
Thoughts,
your hand?
okay, thoughts, do thought.
But if
Mm,
I ask you
uh-huh,
think of a golden apple.
uh-huh.
Are you not in control of making that mental image?
No. If I say pink banana, You couldn't help but think of a pink banana. You're not in
Sure.
control.
Sure.
There, exactly.
No, 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 no.
You
That
thought
is
of it, you weren't
incorrect. That
even
is
in control.
incorrect. That is incorrect.
It's correct.
No, that is incorrect. Because if you tell a person that does not have self-aware consciousness, pink banana, and they
Yeah,
don't
but
understand
that, we're
the
not
language.
telling them that. I'm telling you that. And
No,
you had
but no,
you-
no, 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 no. But
So when
we're
I said
both
pink
experienced-
banana, it was just a blank in your mind. You thought of a pink banana, didn't you?
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
you weren't in control of that.
Unless you're one of
No,
those
no,
people
no,
that
no,
can't
no. Yeah,
think.
no, no, no. But see, it seems like you're trying to find loopholes.
No, no, no.
No, no, no. Listen to me. Listen to me. It seems like you're trying to find a loophole where I told you that I could direct your will, and you just made that example to me. But you can think of things on your own completely.
No, but that proved my point that you're not in control.
in that in that game that you just played, sure. It's
Well,
it's a trick. That
no, no, no,
that's
no.
more of a trick.
No, but it's
No,
like
no, no,
from-
because it's a trick because I can think of anything that I want to think of right now, right?
And where does that come from? That's what I'm saying.
Well, the thoughts come from perhaps my subconscious mind, my memory,
and
my
and are you controlling that?
if I'm pulling ideas from my memory, of course.
You're
Aren't I willing to pull? I want to think about that one time that I ate a mango in El Salvador. I did that right now out of my free will.
Yeah.
I willed that into my own. Where do you find the fault in that? Or do you,
No. That's why I said it's an entirely
Different.
the concept of free will. Of course, we've talked about it before, but
Have you heard, like, when they say that before you're about to raise your hand, that there's, like, your mind already is there. Like, you just
Yeah.
don't raise it. Like, your
Yeah.
mind is, like, 1 second, like,
yeah, because you're thinking like I'm going to debate that, and in order to do that, you have to raise your hand. So you.
what happens when something's falling and all of a sudden it's, like, your reflex to, because you're not
Yeah,
thinking
yeah,
about it. It's
yeah,
just, like, a
yeah.
normal.
I don't.
I was just simply trying to say that thoughts seem to just spring into view, which you agreed, right? Random thoughts spring into view, no
Yes.
control. They just spring into view.
Random thoughts.
And
Random thoughts.
you're aware of them now.
Sure.
But that, for me, the awareness also, like there was no control in you becoming aware of it. You just are aware of it.
Sure.
That's what I'm saying. And there's no control there. There's no control either for me, the way I see it.
Self-aware consciousness is control.
Mm,
Self-aware consciousness is control.
Are you talking about, like, when you're not in control, you're letting that image just flow on without having to stop it?
No, I think he's talking about, he's talking
I'm
about
saying
the
that the
emergence of.
self-awareness itself arises, if you will.
Oh,
That's what I'm trying to say.
But self-awareness arising doesn't take away or add. Well, it adds to control.
No,
it doesn't take away to
It
control.
takes away from it. If it simply arises, it would take away from it.
No, you see, it seems like you're saying that because there's not knowing how self-awareness arises, then me making a decision right here, right now, that wasn't my decision.
Like
That sounds like what you're saying.
We should probably make a separate, because this goes into free
Even
will.
the
Yeah,
snakes,
those
even,
are-
even the snakes on.
That's-
Well, personally, I don't care about the subject. The right question, which is the one that I think that is the topic that you're alluding to, is free will an illusion? Because free will is real. We experience free will.
I don't agree.
So your question. I'll prove it to you.
I doubt it.
Pick one.
It's
Pick
not
one.
free,
No.
free will.
Yes. So the question is free will an illusion?
An
That is your
illusion.
question. Because free will is what we experience.
Hold on. Before anything.
Free will is what we
What's the
experience.
definition of free will?
Well,
Let's look it up.
Yeah.
Let's look it up.
Because I know people are gonna wonder.
Because we
like,
have to speak
Yeah.
English. We have to speak the same
Yeah.
language. Because now you're, and that's what I'm getting at, is that Octavio is employing his own ideas of what you feel, of what
sure,
you feel.
sure.
That I'm just using the English language to determine to conclude your question.
Free
which-
will, I think, loosely speaking, is you have agency. free will. That's
Yeah, that you're in control. You're
In
in control
control,
of
you
choosing.
have
Let's say
agency.
I'm in control of choosing A or B.
yeah.
What it says is the power of acting without the constraint of necessity or fate. The ability to act at one's own discretion.
And that's what we have.
Yeah.
That's what we have. The 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 I don't want to say skeptic because it's not the right word. The argument is, or the question is free will an illusion? Do you agree with that? Because free will, again, you could pick Coke or Pepsi. Coke or Pepsi, Coke or Pepsi. Hey, that's solid proof right there.
Yeah.
Solid proof, 100% physical
But
proof
proof of what?
of free will.
Is it?
It is.
And
You
okay,
just- listen. What is the definition
It says the power of acting,
of acting? The power of acting.
Yeah.
without the
Okay.
constraint of necessity or fate.
I'm just asking where the choice came from. That's all. You're saying I made that choice.
Okay. Again,
Right,
so
right.
your question is what we know to be free will? What we know to be free will is that an illusion?
Mm-hmm.
That's the question. Free will is. Free will is. The question is for those that want to poke at this subject
Yeah.
is that what you humans call free will? Is that an illusion? Is that more consistent, or are you still not on board with that?
Yeah.
Because what proof? If by saying free will does not exist, you have to prove that. You can't just theorize that. I can prove to you that free will exists. Pick Coke or Pepsi.
That's your proof?
Yes, it's
Coke or
physical.
Pepsi?
It's physical proof. How is that not proof?
No. But my thing goes back to
How
free will assumes control. free-
Coke or Pepsi? Let's
No,
go
no,
Coke
no.
or Pepsi.
Free will assumes control. Control comes from where? Your thoughts, right?
No.
No?
Yeah.
Free
no,
will.
yeah,
We're
no,
talking
we're-
about
yeah,
we're
yeah.
talking about free will. We're talking
Free
about an
will.
act.
Yeah.
We're talking about an act.
And how do you just mindlessly do everything?
No, you think.
Yeah, exactly. And thinking, where does that come from?
Oh, see, this is where
Yeah.
this is where you.
The-
I think you're combining two concepts that have nothing to
Well-
that because
You make a decision with a thought, right?
with you will
Uh-huh.
a decision to come out of your mind.
Wh-
I'm going to choose Pepsi over Coke.
Which-
You're saying where does the ability to make that choice really come from?
Yeah, and there's
But
no
that's-
there's no
that's-
control there. Wherever it comes from, you didn't control it.
But that has nothing to do.
Of course it does.
No.
Control.
No, that has nothing to do with being able to control.
You're well again.
No, that has no. Am I not correct? It has nothing to do with being
On a
able to
certain
control.
level, yes,
And that's
but
what
I'm
I'm
talking
saying,
about
see?
this level up here. Down here, you're correct. Up here, no.
See, so the question is it an illusion? Right?
Is
Because
free will an illusion?
that is what the question that you're really asking.
Not necessarily. Because the illusion of free will itself can be an illusion.
There is no
Yeah.
such thing as an illusion of free will. There's just free will.
There isn't free will, though. I don't think.
Okay, well you cannot say that there isn't. You have to say I believe that there isn't.
I believe there isn't in the sense that free
Sure.
will comes from control. Control comes from thoughts, and thoughts you can't control. You just 10
You
minutes
see,
ago.
you're not articulating correctly.
I know.
Yeah, you're not articulating correctly.
But I'm just saying the arising of thoughts is beyond our control, right?
But once we have control,
And how do you gain that control, though?
by however nature decides to do it, however nature,
Out of your control.
but that has nothing to do with controlling the act.
That's why I almost didn't ask it because I felt that we
No.
were going to go down this rabbit hole, and it's an entirely separate
Well, that's an entirely separate subject. but,
that can last hours on its own.
Sure.
For sure.
but
right now, I feel like I'm listening to fucking like Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung.
yeah.
Because both had the same thing, but they did not agree on.
Yeah. Well, no. Again, the debate is whether or not free will is real, which it is real.
No, I don't.
It
think
is
so.
real.
I don't think
Well, you see, you have your stance on that, but that proves nothing.
You've
hold
proven
on, no, no,
nothing
no,
with
no, no, no.
Coke and
Yeah,
Pepsi.
of
That
course.
proves nothing either.
Of course it does.
No, it doesn't. Because
Of
the
course it
thought
does.
of look, here's Pepsi, here's Coke.
Listen.
I'm gonna choose Coke.
Listen.
I'm gonna choose Coke. That just sprang into view.
Then you have to
Uh-huh.
come up with a different definition for free will.
What
Because we're talking about free will. We are talking about control over acts.
control exactly? If you can't even
Control
control your
over
thoughts,
acts. Hold, listen. Control over acts. Whatever happened before I was able to control my act has nothing to do with the ability to control my act of choosing one or the other. Choosing right or wrong. Let's say follow the law or break the law. Follow the law or break the law. I have chosen to follow the law.
but that I have chosen for
To
me
say that I have chosen to break the law, that how I got to the ability to make that choice doesn't matter.
Of course it matters. Because if
Okay,
it just sprang
okay.
into view, that means you don't have control over that.
That is not proven. That is
Does
an idea.
Does thinking not just spring into view? Thinking. Can you pre-think thinking? You can't pre-think thinking. Thinking just seems to spring into view as well. So if thinking springs into view, that
but
means you don't have
thinking-
control over it.
Of course you have control.
Really?
We have control over. Pick
It feels
one.
that. It
Pick one.
obviously feels that way.
No.
That's why I'm saying on that level,
No, no,
yeah,
no.
you're right. I'm not talking about that level. On that level,
No,
yeah.
yeah, you're-
But
Look,
that's
pick
not-
one.
no.
You're like,
But that is the level that we experience. That is the level that we experience.
Uh-huh.
Is whatever I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's it. You're talking about more of probably a philosophical concept. What you're saying, hey, that's your position. That's cool, dude. Clearly, the majority of humanity recognizes that free will.
Yeah.
is
I'm in the minority for sure.
where we're at.
But
And that your position is
that you don't control your thoughts.
No. You have to. You have to.
If thoughts just spring into
You
view,
have to begin your statement with saying I believe this because you're in the minority and because I'm correct about explaining what happens in real natural everyday life experience. Your concept of this idea of free will is that you believe,
Yeah, I believe.
not knowing.
I believe.
You believe.
I don't think you know either, but go ahead.
You believe that on a deeper philosophical level that there is no control.
In the sense that you mentioned, in fact, that thoughts they just cross your mind, right?
But my brother,
The thoughts.
I've mentioned 2 points. And
Yeah,
look, to go back to my line out. And intentional.
Uh-huh.
Intentional means I'm in control. Does it not? Maybe
Yes, on this
let's say
level,
not.
yeah.
On this level.
On this
on the
level
level
down
of
here,
regular
yeah.
humans.
Yeah.
On the level of natural experience, we have control. What subject you're talking about?
No, I'm
it,
talking-
it's
No,
it has nothing to do. Realistically, it has nothing to do with our everyday
Well,
experience.
thoughts-
It's a deeper philosophical thing that you would like to explore.
Thoughts. I'm talking about thoughts in general.
That has nothing to
Of course it
that's
does.
no. It's not going to change anything about humanity. It's not going to change anything about human experience, because give me a choice and I'm gonna make a choice, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
call that, and that is free will.
Yeah, but
you're talking about
but
philosophically.
But the choice also sprang into view on its own, is what I'm trying to say. The quote unquote choice that just popped into your mind.
Yeah, but I had to. Well, I
And
had
that
to
just
hold
popped
on.
into your mind.
I had to understand the language.
And that just popped into your mind.
I had to understand the language that we're
yeah,
speaking of
sure.
in order to rationalize
And none of which.
whether or not I'm going to choose left or right based on whatever I feel.
Yeah, but all those things just spring into view, is what I'm saying.
But I'm sure.
That's why I said,
sure.
can you pre-think thinking? I don't think you can. They just kind of thinking just pops into view, just like thoughts, is what I'm trying to say. And if it just pops into view, then there's no control there. It just pops into view.
Well, I disagree with that completely. That you have. I disagree on the point that has anything to do with being able to make a choice
Well,
once you have the capacity to make a choice. That's where I'm at. That's mildly interesting. Whatever happens before being able to make a choice is mildly interesting to me.
Yeah, but
that's just to me.
Exactly.
Because it's not going to change anything about life in general of humanity and my personal life experience. Even if it's, let's say I'm 100% wrong and I'm not in control. It sure seems like I'm in control.
I know. I agree there too. I'm on that level, and all the demonstrations you made on that level make sense to me.
Okay.
But on the level of thoughts just pop into view, there's no control there to me. It seems. Mm-hmm. If thoughts just bubble up into view, they just bubble up into view.
See, but it seems like you're attaching the word control in two different contexts.
Well, in order for you to have control, you would at least have to have control over your thoughts, right? You don't have your control over your thoughts. Then where the hell?
So control applies to thinking, the thinking process, right?
Yeah.
But you're saying that although control, if I control in the thinking process, you agree with that, right? Control in the thinking process. Choose A or B.
Yeah.
You're in agreement with that. But
I'm trying to.
Because I didn't have control over giving myself the control process, that's what you're saying.
It would just be turtles all the way down in that sense.
I know exactly what you're saying, and that's pointless to me.
I know it's pointless, but it's pointless. The fact that it's pointless or not doesn't.
It means nothing.
That
point means nothing.
And the fact that it means nothing doesn't mean it's not true though. So
sure.
That's what I'm sure. That's all I was trying to say. Like, if it seems that we can't control thoughts from springing into view, which I don't think we can, right?
Sure.
But I take it. Thoughts come into view. When I say dildo, you just picture one right now, right?
No.
You had no control over it.
No. Let me scratch that right there. The dildo thing doesn't bother me. We do have control. We have both control and no control.
But the control, where does the control come from?
That doesn't matter.
Yeah, of course it matters.
Why?
Of course it matters.
Why does it matter?
But see, right now I realize that your doesn't matter is not the same.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Obviously for you, it doesn't matter. I just feel like
why does it matter to you?
No, it matters to me because.
Why does it matter whether I choose Coke or Pepsi?
For me, it goes back to the thinking itself. It seems to just arise just like thoughts.
But why does it matter? Because
that means there's no control over that.
Sure. But what does that matter in living life?
For me it's a matter.
It could be like a missing piece. So.
For me, I guess the ultimate view is like, what is ultimate reality? For me, is the viewpoint that I'm looking at it through. As of like, what does that matter in your day-to-day life, or how's that going to improve your life? That for me is like, I don't give a shit about that.
That is the ultimate reality. Is your daily experience.
Sure, no. It is, but I'm talking about ultimate reality beyond me, beyond me. Ultimate reality of the cosmos or the universe or whatever it is. Simulation, if you will.
That's saying like, why existence? Why?
In a sense, but just back to the free will. Free will implies control, and if you can't control your thoughts.
No, but you can control your thoughts.
No.
I made a point of it.
No. Intentional versus unintentional.
You can and you can't. You have intentional thoughts and you have unintentional thoughts.
And the intentional, where does it come from?
You see, the intentional comes from having the ability to draw either from my memory or use my imagination to make a decision in real life.
But all of that, to me, seems to just spring into view, which you have no control over.
It's probably subconscious.
You don't have control over it springing to view.
Yeah,
exactly. But when it's active, you're in complete control. You don't have control over the process, but you have control over the ability to use that ability to choose.
We'll leave it there.
I'm correct. I'm correct. You just don't want to buy into it.
On this level, yes. On this level, no. On this level, you're correct.
No.
On the day-to-day life.
Yeah, but even on that level, on that level, I'm not correct because I could be correct. Yeah, just as well as you could be correct and wrong. I could be correct and wrong.
I would say no. But again,
but you have no proof to your point. So if you're not taking what I'm proposing, that is no proof. So we're both on the same level. We're both 50% right and 50% wrong.
For me, it's again. Perhaps you can help me think about this better. When you're thinking, the thinking itself seems to arise. It seems to bubble up into view just like thoughts.
You know what, man? I think you're maybe Sam Harris has polluted your mind too much.
I would say enhanced.
Because it seems like he has an idea that maybe you don't grasp completely because of the way you're articulating it.
Hold on, who?
Sam Harris.
Because of the way you are articulating it. And it may be that you mean what he's brought to your attention, but again, maybe you're not articulating it correctly. Or completely.
Well, the simple way to articulate it is can you pre-think a thought? Can you think a thought before you think it?
No, but that has nothing to do with free will.
Of course it does.
Okay.
Is a choice not made by a thought? By thinking?
No. It is made by the ability to choose.
And the ability to choose, does that not arise? Can you pre-think thinking is what I'm trying to tell you.
That has nothing to do with free will. No.
Yes,
it doesn't. It does not.
Then it would mean it's just reactionary.
It does not. Yeah, no, but you have like he was saying, you do have reactionary stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we both interact with
both.
So look,
on this level I agree with everything you say. On this level I agree with everything you say. But on a higher level.
On a higher level where you have nothing to prove, there's no proof.
I'm just trying to understand.
Right. But on the higher level where you have no proof and I have no proof, then you can't say that I'm wrong. You could say that I might be wrong, but I might be right. Whereas you might be wrong and you might be right.
But I think you would be correct if you can prove that you can pre-think thinking, and you can't do that. I don't think. If you can prove that you can pre-think thinking, because to me it seems
see, but again, sorry to leave you out of this, dude, but
that's why
you're giving it seems like you're giving too much credit to pre-thinking thinking. Answer the question of pre-think thinking.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do. Listen, no, it does not.
It has everything to do.
It has nothing to do with the ability to make a choice.
And the ability, did that not arise either?
It has nothing to do with the ability to make a choice.
Did the ability not also just pop into view, into your mind?
It has nothing to do with the ability. The ability. I'm talking about the ability. The ability to make a choice has nothing to do with where you came from.
What is the choice? It's in your mind, isn't it? You made the choice in your mind.
It's no.
The choice is not in your mind?
No. Listen. Listen to what you're saying.
A choice.
A choice is what? It's a process. You're talking about.
And the mind is not involved in a choice?
Listen to me. You're talking about what gave you the self-aware consciousness. Where I'm saying whatever that is has nothing to do, listen to me, has nothing to do with being able to use those tools.
But it's
a process of it. It's a process of, let's say it's a process of evolution.
But does the choice not involve the mind?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course, but
I would say a choice is almost entirely in the mind, if not entirely.
A
choice?
Choice is a process. Choice is a process. We're talking about a process. Free will is a process. It's a process, right?
On this over here.
Then let's move on.
No, but like a choice, does it not come from the mind?
Let's stay on the same process, because I can only answer the process of real life experience.
When you make a choice,
yeah,
it comes from the mind first, does it not? When you make a choice,
no.
If Coke and Pepsi.
Yeah, see. What I want to do is I want to give you a visual aid, because I think that'll I think you're gonna be like, damn, bro, you're 100%
But
right.
a choice,
Watch.
a choice comes from the mind, right?
Watch.
And if it comes from the mind, thoughts just arise in the mind. You don't have no control over that. That's all I was trying to say.
No, you do and you don't. You do and you don't.
You're trying to say you control thinking, but I'm saying that thinking also arises, is all I'm saying. The thinking itself also arises.
Okay.
The choice itself also arises.
Let's.
And you have no control over that. Therefore, no free will.
That is incorrect. That is incorrect.
On this level, yes.
No. I'm only talking about one level, dude.
On your earthly level.
Yeah. Because you're reaching,
Uh-huh.
again, and as you said, you're in the minority.
Mm-hmm.
What, free will, can you, what is the definition again, por favor? Free will. Let's make sure we're speaking the same language.
Okay, hold on.
Man, we're cheating everybody out of their law of attraction.
The
webinar.
power of acting without the constraint or necessity of fate. The ability to act at one's own discretion.
Okay, the power of acting, that is free will. The power of acting.
And where does acting come from?
Okay, so you're saying that, okay, so pre-power of acting, I have a thought process, right?
Exactly.
I'm making a thought.
So the acting comes from the thought process, and thoughts just bubble up beyond your control. No free will.
That is not correct. Look, I'm gonna show you right here, right now.
Okay.
Prior to acting, there's a mental process.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Okay, mental process.
Which involves
mental process, which involves thinking.
Thinking, yeah.
Thinking.
And the thinking came from.
Okay, so we're talking about process.
Yeah.
Here, and you're saying that from the thinking process.
Yeah. Where did the thinking come from?
Hold on. I'm saying free will applies to this here.
Mm-hmm.
To the process. Free will applies to a process. You're talking about where did self-awareness consciousness come from?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly.
This has nothing to do with the process.
Where did thinking come from?
That has nothing to do with the process.
Okay. That's.
No, do you agree?
I agree in the way you're putting it there, but
this is what I've been saying the whole time. But see, this is why I like to write things down. I've told Octavio before. This is why I like to write things down, because I want to see what the hell I'm talking about. Maybe I need to redirect my attention.
Okay, so this you're saying this is a process. Yeah.
This is a process. A process is this, right?
It quote unquote starts with thinking, but I'm saying what's before that?
Absolutely, I agree. I agree with that. That is your question. Yeah. Where did thinking come from? Where did thinking come from? So what you're asking, in essence, is where did the process come from? Thinking by itself, that has nothing to do with free will. Thinking by itself. Free will is a process. We've identified that already. This is a process.
It's part of it. It's part of the process.
Stay with me, bro. Stay with me. Stay with me. Where thinking is self-aware consciousness. I'm not making any kind of choice, no nothing. Other than I'm going to stay here and just be quiet. And this is self-aware consciousness. Free will. Free will is a process of the mind. A process of the mind. What is the mind is what you're asking. You're asking, you're asking in evolution philosophy is if I had no control about the mind bursting into existence.
Yeah, exactly.
Then because I had no control over that means I have no control over this.
Pretty much, as far as I see
that's your philosophy. Your philosophy is that. So the question, even in your philosophy, this process still happens. I'm gonna make a mental.
Ultimately, beyond your control.
No, not the process. Not the process.
If this sparks the process, you didn't control this.
No. The process is totally different. The big Earth is totally different than the Big Bang. The Big Bang, let's just say that happened. The Big Bang happened.
Sure.
Earth is totally different than the Big Bang.
It arose from the Big Bang.
Sure. Yeah. But it became its own process. and it became its own planet. It's its own thing.
And
so although this sparked the mind, whatever sparked the mind, with having a sparked mind comes free will. Just because
that's the
wires connected there,
sure.
however the wires were connected there that made this happen.
Well, that's the divide.
So self-aware consciousness, it's a package. It's a package, right? It comes with imagination. It comes with memory bank. It comes with the process of making choices. That comes with it.
Look, I understand everything you're saying. The differentiating factor is that you say that from this point on, hey, I'm in control, blah, blah, blah. I'm saying...
No, but we are, according to what we experienced.
Sure.
You're in the camp that you believe that...
No, it's not
that because we... Oh, you're changing your mind now.
No, it's not that I believe. Look, I ask anybody, when you think a thought...
No. So you're asking two different questions then.
It's all part of it.
No. You're asking two different questions.
Well, look, let me just ask the audience though.
No, that's a dumb question, brother. That's a dumb question. Can you outthink thinking?
No. Do thoughts not just bubble up into view? They do, right?
Yes and no. Let's define thoughts. What's a thought? Hold on. Let's speak the same language. What's a thought?
I know what you're thinking. Random thoughts bubble up into view. You're agreeing with that, right?
That's what I'm talking about. Thoughts. I'm talking about thoughts. You should be talking about thoughts too.
Yeah, I know.
We're talking about
thoughts. But we're building up to it.
So we have thoughts which are random and at will. But using my free will.
This is thought. An idea or opinion produced by thinking or
the process
certainly in the mind.
Or random. Both thoughts are process using your own free will and random. That's according to the English language. Okay, what are you talking about?
For me, both seem to just arise. Both. Even when you're like, I'm making the choice, the I'm making the choice arose also in your mind. Otherwise, you would be claiming to pre-think thinking, and I don't think that's possible.
See, you're alluding to that any of these I
would say
answers.
I would say all.
No,
thoughts.
you're alluding to any of these answers. Don't answer that. Can you pre-think thinking? That's what it sounds like, because thinking is a process.
Yeah.
So let's break it down. Can you outprocess the process? No. But that has nothing to do with what happened, how you were able to have the process, which is here.
I think what you're talking about starts here, and then I think it splits in two.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I understand that what you're saying. And when I say on this level, I don't mean it's low. I'll put it here on this level, and I'm over here. There's
different
parallels or whatever. Layers of looking at it, I guess. I'm just saying, in my layer of looking at it, at the end of the day, thoughts, thinking, quote unquote, choice bubbles up into view in your mind.
But how is this not been clear? You're choosing not. It sounds like you're just choosing not to accept it.
No. Look. Because at the end of the day, all of it just bubbles up into view. That's it. Even your choice.
No, you can't just say that. That's what you believe. That's what you believe.
So
that's what you believe, right? Because you can't prove it.
Well, in the same way that I can ask you that you can't prove that you can pre-think thinking.
Again, I'm not trying to answer that question. But that pre-think thinking has nothing to do with the process, with the process of thinking. I think you like that question.
Yeah.
Can you pre-think thinking?
Yeah, because.
But it has nothing to do with the process of free will.
No, of course it does, because.
No, it does not. Free will is the power of acting,
which
takes a mental process,
which comes from
a mental process, the ability to think, the ability to think,
ability to think.
Yeah, the ability to think, not thinking itself.
Well,
not what is thinking. No, it's the ability that you can use, self-awareness, consciousness, that is what we have, to make decisions and act on them. Do thoughts come in random and processed through thinking? Yes. It seems like you have to find a different word for thinking.
I do.
You have to find a different word for thinking that applies to this here. Because thinking applies to the process. And the process is only one thing. Well, it's like a mechanism that's used by the mind. You're talking about where the hell did the mind come from? If I didn't have control over where the mind came from, then
it doesn't even have to be that.
No, but I'm just saying. I'm talking about the process is
the thoughts themselves springing into view. Thinking itself springing into view.
No. See, thoughts and thinking are two different things.
Yeah, I know. But both, in my eyes, spring into view. Even active, quote-unquote, proactive thinking, awareness, that seems to also spring into view. For me.
Yeah, but like how Jaime said, once you get to the point of being in control, you have control. You have no control over being born. Let's say.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that though.
Sure.
I'm talking about right now. Your thoughts coming into your mind. You have no control over.
That is not correct. That is not a correct statement. Because I can choose to imagine something right now. And I am in control of that.
But that proves nothing. That proves nothing.
You're talking about the image,
just anything, any thought that comes into your mind
just randomly
seems to just bubble up into view. That's all, including as far as I'm concerned, thinking itself. Thinking itself bubbles up into view as well. There's no way you can pre-think thinking. There's no way you can think a thought before you think it, if you will. There's just no way. And if there's no way, and if things just bubble up into view, there's no control there.
Okay, if I ask you to remember something, are you not extracting that thought from somewhere?
Sure, but I
then that is not random. You're doing that actively. You're doing that actively with your will. You're willing those memories to come back to you.
Think of a movie from the 80s.
Sure.
Name one.
Friday the 13th.
What made you think of that?
You asked me to.
Yeah, exactly. But why not the 100 other badass 80s movies? Friday the 13th. You had no control whatsoever of Friday the 13th being the answer. None. Zero.
So it
Zero.
Came from somewhere.
What?
You didn't. It just sprang into view.
No, I had to dig into my memory.
80s movies. Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
But why Friday the 13th and why not
because it was
Predator?
Because it was stored in my memory, and out of all the memory stuff I had.
So was Predator and so was Terminator.
Sure.
Why Friday the 13th? Because it just sprang into view, and you have no control over that. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
If you're trying to say that I have no control over all the stuff that's in my memory bank,
But could it have been that he maybe during the week or the month he saw Friday
for whatever he's saying for whatever reason.
Control over that.
He's saying for whatever reason. That's silly.
That's
silly.
That's going like beyond.
That's silly.
Okay, so I asked.
That's silly.
Name me a movie from the 80s. You said Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Why that one and not 100 other badass movies from the 80s?
Okay.
For me, because
if you're saying
if
you're saying that proves
no, that's.
What are you alluding to with that then? Because you
had no control over Friday the 13th. That it just sprang into view. That was one of the movies.
Okay, hold on.
In your library of movies.
I actively used the process to dig through my memory.
But you didn't choose Friday the 13th. Just bubbled up into view, didn't it?
You're
right.
I actively thought. So I'm thinking. I'm talking about a process of thinking.
Well, see, here's the difference. This is the difference I'm talking about. Friday the 13th bubbled up into view. Why didn't Terminator? Why didn't the 100 other badass movies from the 80s?
Why is that? Why does that matter?
Because that proves my point that you had no control over it. It just bubbled up into view. Friday the 13th just bubbled up into view.
Okay, so let's say
you didn't have control over that.
Okay, before I get lost, how is this question?
It's
not useful for.
Okay, that's
exactly what I'm saying.
That's where I was saying. Because I was like, since you started mentioning it, I'm like, how does this relate to manifesting?
No. Honestly, you should probably cut out this whole
segment. Yeah.
I'm for.
Because I thought you had like, I see your point, and I'm like, but then I'm like, okay, how's it relating to manifesting?
That's why I said
the process is what is leading to the manifestation. But if not, then whatever we're manifesting is just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, thoughts in general seem to bubble up.
But I understand where you're coming from
thoughts
the question.
Spring into view, and there's no control there. You.
That is not a true statement.
Yes, it is.
That is not a true statement.
Yeah.
That is not a true statement.
Thoughts
How?
just spring into view.
How?
Thoughts spring into view.
I can actively.
But that actively
choose,
is also just springing into view in your mind.
But I'm making it up.
It's a very strong illusion. I agree. I agree.
I'm making it up. So okay, a very strong illusion and it being true are two different things. So again, so your statement is not true.
No, but back to again.
No, but let's
cut this out.
Let's agree. Your statement is not true though.
What? My statement is true that thoughts just bubble up into view. Yeah, for sure. I stand by that.
No, or that's 50% true because I also have control of my thoughts.
But that quote unquote control also springs into view is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, no. Yeah. Let's stay with. Am I correct or am I incorrect? I am in control of my thoughts. Do you agree with that?
No.
Okay, cool.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, go move.
You think
forward.
you are, but you're not.
You think I think I am. No, you think I think I am.
Yeah.
You think I think I am. Right? You think that's your position. I know I'm in control of my thoughts because I'm controlling what I'm thinking. You think I think I'm not. Right?
I don't think anybody is.
Sure. You think we think we're not. But I know I am. I'm the one experiencing this and how I'm saying because you're digging into a deeper deeper philosophical concept of where does even thinking come from? Again, we've already identified that's not a part of the process.
Forget where it comes from. The fact that it just arises. And there's no control in the just arising. That's all.
Sure.
At the end of the day, that's all I'm talking about. The arising.
Sure.
The arising.
Sure.
But if you don't control the arising, then there's no free will. Because
that is not a correct statement.
Yes,
See?
it is.
No, it's not, dude. Look, the power of acting. Oh, see, then you have to find a different definition for whatever you're talking about.
Look,
because what we're talking about is free will.
Choice involves thinking, right?
Which is the process, which doesn't involve how did we become self-aware.
Just follow me. Choice involves thinking.
Sure.
As far as I'm concerned, thinking just arises.
There's
no controlling.
Okay, you left the box, dude. You left the box.
Well,
you left the box.
According to that thing that you just made up, dude. Yeah, sure.
No, but does it not make sense?
Not entirely.
How does this not make sense?
Look.
Even you pointed out that once you get to a certain point where now you have control, you have control.
But look, again, free will involves a choice. A choice involves thinking. And thinking, as far as I'm concerned, just arises. That's all. It's that simple.
You're saying that you're discounting that we're able to make a process because we don't know where we got self-awareness from. That it just sprung.
Yeah.
That we weren't in control of making ourselves self-aware. That we don't have control of the process. That is an incorrect statement. That is your theory. That is your position. But the correct statement is we have free will.
No.
That is what we experience.
That
is correct.
That's why there's a big debate over it, bro.
it's a big debate because people like talking about it, but that's nonsensical. But it's nonsensical, brother. Look, the process is a free will process, which is what we experience daily. You chose what you put. Hold on. Of course.
And thinking just arises.
No. You're going past like. You're going into idea as opposed to what we're experiencing. We're experiencing free will. Your position is you're challenging that free will is a real thing. So the question that you're proposing is free will an illusion? And your position is I think, because you can't, based on even what you're saying, this is just a hypothesis. Based on what you're saying, you think free will is an illusion, where free will is just is. Free will is. You're saying, hey, everybody, look, there's a different position.
I'm not even saying either of those. I'm saying the universe is. The universe is, life is, and that's it.
Life is what?
It is. Life is.
What do you mean?
You're saying free will is an illusion, or you think that I think free will is an illusion.
Yeah.
And you're saying free will.
Do you not think that?
You're saying free will just is?
No. Do you not think free will is an illusion? I think you do, right? You think free will is an illusion?
I think the illusion of free will itself might be an illusion. The illusion of free will itself.
Okay, well that's something different.
But my thing is
free will is what we experience.
What you're saying.
The challenge is, hey everybody, I think that there's something deeper that we can't explain, and that because we can't explain that free will is an illusion.
And
that's your position. That's what it sounds like.
No, you think that you're saying free will is.
Well, free will is what we experience.
And I'm saying life is, and I'm saying the universe is. That's my ultimate stance.
Is what?
Is. That's it. Life is. The universe is. That's it.
Is.
That's why I'm saying it's another layer. I'll do this.
You're saying life is.
Life is. That's it.
So.
That's it. Life is. Life is.
But what do you mean? Define is.
Life is. That's
Define
it.
is.
Look.
Define is. Define is.
Life is, dude. That's it.
Define is.
Is. That's it.
you have to define is.
Another way of saying is life. Life is what it is. That's it.
Okay, sure.
Life is what it is. That's all.
Sure, but that's a philosophy.
Yeah.
That's a philosophy, because you don't know. It could have been made.
Yeah, of course. Right. I'm open to that.
So that's what I'm saying. Life is
life.
Say in your context, you're just saying it as a philosophy, and a philosophy is just your own perspective.
Sure. But look,
just like your position here.
Just to end this, at the end of the day, the way I see it, I know this is what you have here. The way I see it is, free will means that it involves a choice. A choice, for me, comes from the mind. The mind is, the choice itself comes from thoughts or thinking, and the thoughts or thinking, as far as I'm concerned, just spring into view. And if they just spring into view, there is no control there. That's all I'm saying. That's my entire thing. That's all I'm saying. That's it.
I respect that.
Anyway, definitely cut this out.
Yeah.
No, I'm being serious.
I'm pretty sure psychologists are gonna want to study.
No, yeah.
We'll do a separate video.
No, cut out the segment, and we'll do one on free will. And
I don't want to.
Okay.
I don't want to.
All right.
I don't want to.
Well, yeah, I know. This is our stance.
This is as far as I'll go with free will.
Okay.
Anyway. I'm good.
Bathroom break?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, might as well.
Thinking.
There's no such thing as pre-thinking.
Exactly.
Yeah. But that doesn't mean you can't. That doesn't mean you don't have control over your thoughts.
So that would imply that the thinking would just spring into view. And if it just springs into view, there's no control there.
No.
Yes.
Again, thinking is a process. Thinking is not the thought. Thinking is not a mental picture.
Okay, so
thinking is a process.
So thoughts spring into view. You don't control thoughts.
Yes, you do. Because
thoughts just don't bubble up into view?
No, not all the time. Half and half. Random and intentional. I can intentionally think of anything.
But even the intentional ones, dude. Like, to me,
that is your position.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Does that involve, let's say, throughout the week, throughout the month, throughout the day, little things that your subconscious picks up, and then thoughts, it brings out to fruition a random thought?
No, just every single thought ever. It, to me, seems to just spring into view. And the springing into view, there's no control there. That's all.
So even your if you create a character from your imagination, so the imagination is not a thing. It's according to what you're saying.
Look, it is a thing in this layer.
So what is creating?
I'm just saying
it's that he's just saying on a more philosophical level.
It doesn't. You don't even have to phrase it that way. Just on the level that, for me, it seems that thoughts just spring to view. That's it, and there's no control there. The thoughts just bubbling up into view, into your mind, into your awareness.
Then what is imagination?
There's no control.
Then what is imagination?
Whatever the hell springs into view, but there's no control there.
Okay, let me reword it. Let me reword it. What is a controlled imagination?
Controlled imagination? I don't know that there's such a thing.
So I can't tell you like, hey, create a character.
Of course, but whatever it is that you tell me to do or imagine or blah blah blah, and whatever springs into my mind, just like Friday the 13th sprang into your mind, there's no control there. It's just sprang into your mind. You could have chosen Predator, you didn't. You could have chosen Terminator, you didn't. All of that was there, but Friday.
I don't think that's a good example.
Of course it is.
I don't think that's a good example.
Look, I can give you.
I don't think that's.
And it doesn't matter how long you take to pick the movie. sit as long as you want. Whatever movie ends up coming up, it's just spraying into view.
So choosing orange soda over grape soda for you, that's not proof of free will.
No, not
That's
at all.
crazy because that's the definition of free will.
I know. On
Then you have to find another. You have to find the right words to put. No.
But this is why.
You have to find the right words. In order to articulate the problem that you're alluding to that is proposed by the free will thing.
So the reason you chose that soda is just is.
No. He's talking about something totally different.
No. But
you're not talking about free will. You're talking about something different.
No. But
look, because free will, according to the English language, is an act. Acting. Acting. And acting
comes from the brain, doesn't it?
Using the imagination. Using the imagination. Right? Using the imagination.
Exactly.
Not because the mind came from who the hell knows where.
You're trying to separate it, and I'm not.
I think that's the monkey wrench that people in your position are throwing in.
Well, yeah.
Is that you're not trying to separate that where it is a separate thing. It is a separate thing.
No, really.
The mind and thinking, the mind and thinking are two different things. The mind of a person that has cerebral palsy doesn't have the ability to think a mathematical problem.
Yeah, okay.
Perfect example, man. Throw all that Sam Harris shit out the window, bro.
No. What does that prove?
It proves that there's two different things. Well, that the mind is one thing, and that thinking is a process.
Does that prove that you can pre-think a thought? No, it doesn't.
Again, you're asking like a crazy ass question has like no meat to it.
But look, do thoughts not just spring into view?
No.
An hour ago you said yes.
No, yes. I'm saying no because the answer is yes and no.
Well, but I'm saying
the answer is yes and no.
But I'm saying
intentional thoughts, right?
But I'm saying intentional thoughts also just spring into view.
But the intention precedes the mental picture.
And what's in control of the intention?
That has nothing to do with the thinking process. No, it does not. It does not have anything to do with the thinking process. It does not.
For me, it's all related.
Again, that's where that's where you're trying to throw a monkey wrench in it of your position of people that are in that position. But it's different.
How can you separate the two?
I just told you.
I know you made the diagram, but I can make one too where it's like it's all connected.
No, but what I'm saying is in line with the definition of what free will is. Is that free will is a process, and you're thinking
which
about
starts with thinking, right?
You see,
the process starts with thinking.
No. The process is thinking.
According to your own diagram.
No. The process is thinking.
Yeah.
The process is thinking.
And
go on.
And my thing is, it appears that thinking just springs into view. So thinking itself.
No. Thinking is an ability. Thinking is an ability.
What does thinking comprise of? Thoughts, right?
Thinking. Let's say.
What do you think with? Do you think with your toes?
Thinking,
or with your brain.
But thinking is a process.
Where does thinking come from? The mind, right?
Thinking comes from the mind. The brain. Let's say the brain gives light to the mind. Let's just stay there. So the ability to think, the thinking process, is a tool used by the mind, which is nothing physical, right? I'm just saying. It's a process. It's a tool used by the mind. Where you at?
Which is comprised of what? Thoughts.
No. Thoughts is a part of the process. Thoughts is a part of the process.
Yeah, but again, the arising of thinking, you don't have control over that. That's all I'm trying to say.
But that has nothing to do with has nothing to do with the ability to control. Right? If I make you the boss of a new company, who cares why you got the job?
Yeah,
now you have the ability.
That's a bad example.
Now you have the ability to dictate in what action things go. Sure. That's the same thing. The hiring process has nothing to do with the ability with being in charge.
Okay, when in this process of the free will process, it involves the mind the entire time, as far as I'm concerned.
No, it involves the mind in the context of using the ability to use the process, which is an effect of the mind, which is a consequence of having a conscious aware mind, again, because somebody who with cerebral palsy is not capable of thinking. Straight up, that is the perfect example right there of how there are two separate things. There is a mind and then there is a thinking process. Thinking is a process. Where did the mind come from? Has nothing to do with the ability, other than it gave light to it. It gives you the remote control. Where did the remote control come from? It doesn't matter because I can use the remote control. That process of using that tool is thinking. It is that process. That's why the mind is its own thing. Where did it come from? Who the hell knows? But we have the ability to use sometimes our random thoughts, to use them to our advantage, and the imagination. If now according to your diagram the imagination doesn't exist, I'm 100.
Of course it exists.
Then what is it if it's not something of free will? If it's me willing images into my mind because I want the head of a dragon, I want the tail of a lion.
In that scenario, what I'm saying is whatever you're quote unquote imagining is just springing into view. And that springing into view, you have no control over that. It just sprang into view.
But yes, you do because yes, you do because you can give the same instruction to the kid with cerebral palsy, and nothing would spring into view. Why?
Yeah,
because they don't have control. They don't have free will.
Yeah, but
they don't have free will. Now you give it to somebody that has free will, and they're gonna start spitting out all these ideas, and you're gonna say, well, those were just random. Where that is incorrect.
No, but I'm saying in a similar way to Friday the 13th. Why that and why not the 100 other badass movies from the 80s? You know?
I don't think that's a good example.
Ultimately,
do you see the example?
Yeah.
Is it making sense though?
Well,
right? You have the mind, and then you have the process of thinking. That human mind does not possess the process of thinking.
It doesn't?
No, because I can tell a kid with cerebral palsy who doesn't understand English, Spanish, no language, and say, hey, put that Lego helmet together.
I mean, that's...
Or imagine something. If they don't understand language, if they don't understand all that, which the ability to understand language is a consequence of self-aware consciousness, then if I'm telling a kid that has no capability to use the tool of free will, they're not gonna, hey man, do this, do that. They're using, right?
Yeah,
maybe hear sound, maybe see stuff. Why? Because they do not possess their mind, however it's wired. They do not possess the tool of thinking. They're just processing information audibly or whatever, but they do not have the tool of thinking. A child with cerebral palsy.
Well, this tool of thinking. For me, that tool of thinking just comes into view. That's it. That's the tool of thinking itself springs into the mind's eye, and the springing into the mind's eye or view or
no. But it's not a. It
seems to just arise.
It's a process. It's not a tool. It's not a thing.
For me, it seems to just arise, and in the just arising, there's no control. That's all. That's all. Dude.
Yeah, but
that's all I'm saying.
But whether or not, again, that perfect example, I think I nailed it.
No, I don't think so.
I think I nailed it. That mind is a result of consciousness, but not self-aware consciousness, the cerebral palsy mind. It can see, it can hear, it can smell. It cannot compute. It cannot compute. That is a thinking process. Computing is a thinking process.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
So you can be just a vegetable.
That doesn't prove anything though.
It proves that thinking is a process that requires the mind, but the mind doesn't require thinking.
Yeah, the mind doesn't require thinking, obviously.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
But thinking is a process that the mind has a capability to use.
We'll move on, dude.
Guys, from what we could control, there's a process. We'll start from there because
let's control the time here. Yeah.
Let's rabbit hole.
Yeah. Anyway, we're back from our.
Okay, so starting page 3, so you know what marker to cut the whole thing.
Yeah. Okay.
The whole when
we took a bathroom break.